We're up to the Mishnah on Daf Hey Amud Aleph. The Mishnah says, Mishalshlim b'mammon, you divide up money. Ve'em mishalshlim b'makas, you do not divide up the lashes. What does this mean? Ketzad. So the Gemara says, what's going on over here? Explain. The Mishnah says, Hidu shu chayv lechaver masayim zuz. If they testified on their friend, two Eidim testified on their friend that he's chayav 200 zuz. V'nimsu zomim, and these two fellows were found to be Eidim zomim. They were caught. They said they were in a certain place at a certain time. They were caught to be elsewhere at that time. Mishal shlim b'neim, they could divide it amongst them. There's two Eidim. They both tried making Reuven chayav to pay $200. Each one will pay $100. That's what it means. Mishal shlim b'mam. You could divide up the money. But if let's say they testified that he's chayav, Reuven is chayav 40 lashes, v'nimsu zomim, and they're found to be zomim, kol echad ve'echad lo karbayim. Here, each one is going to get 40 lashes. You don't divide, give 20 to this one and 20 to that one. So now we understand what the Mishnah is saying in the first line. The Mishnah says you divide up money, you do not divide up lashes. It means equally amongst the two witnesses, money you could divide between the two of them. Lashes you do not divide between the two of them. Each one is going to get the full 40 lashes. Take each witness into Beis Din, give him 40, and give his friend 40. As opposed to when it comes to money, there's a total of $200 needs to be collected, so each one will pay 100. To which the Gemara says, Minani mili. How do we know these words that each one gets malchus? Why can't you divide the malchus also? Amar Abaye says, Nemar Russia, it says the word Russia, b'chayve malchus, that word specifically. When it says people are chayv malchus, the pasuk uses the word Russia. V'nemar Russia, it says the same word Russia, b'chayve mises Beis Din, when somebody is chayv the death penalty. So this is a gzer shava. It says the word Russia in one place by malchus. It says it by Beis Din, by mises Beis Din. Mala halan, just like over there, ein misa lemechsa, you don't give death halfway. Afkan, so too here, ein malchus lemechsa, you don't give malchus halfway. You don't give half malchus. In other words, according to Abaye, what the Gemara is saying is, if myself and my friend were trying to make Reuven chayiv misa, what's going to happen? We're not going to say kill each of us half, right? That doesn't make sense. You're trying to make him be put to death, so you're going to get put to death. Both of you will be put to death. There's no misa lechatzayin. You can't do a half death. So too, we have a gzer shava. The word Russia, it says by death, and it says it by malchus. So too, anytime you're chayiv malchus, we learn from there, you don't do half, you do the entire thing. You try making him chayiv malchus, you're also going to be chayiv malchus in its entirety. So you'll get 40 lashes, and your friend will get 40 lashes. As opposed to, when it comes to money, since money is not compared, there's no gzer shava to the word money, it doesn't say Russia by the word money, therefore, money you could divide. So according to Bai, the point is, malchus is like death, and money is not. Therefore, you divide money, you don't divide malchus. Rava says a different approach. Rava has come to explain what's the difference between money we could divide between the two witnesses and malchus we don't. Rava Amar, Be'inan, we need, quote, kasher zamam lasos lachiv, end quote. We need to do exactly what you plan to do to your friend, veleka, and there's not. What Rava is saying is, me and my friend testified about Reuven that he's going to get 40 malchus. So therefore, we deserve 40, I deserve 40 malchus, and my friend deserves 40 malchus. That's what we were trying to do to him. So therefore, how can you divide it? How can you say he gets 20 and I get 20? We were trying to be mechayiv him 40. Since you're trying to be mechayiv him 40, you're going to get 40, each one of you. To which the Gemara asked the obvious question, Ihachi, if so, mamanami. So money also, how can you get away with each one paying 100? Why don't we say, kasher zamam dictates that each one of us should have to pay 200, just like we wanted to do to him. Ihachi mamanami, to which the Gemara answers, mamon mitztarif, money joins together, malchus lo mitztarif, malchus does not join together. So these are the words of the Gemara. The Gemara is saying the difference is, money could join together. In other words, really you need to do kasher zamim, it needs to hurt you just like you did to him. But money could join together, malchus does not join together. The Gemara does not explain clearly what it means over here. It just says this rule over here. There are different pshatim giving. Some people explain that when we're talking about the money, and they say this is possibly the source. When we say that me and my friend have to pay 200 zuz, where does that money go to? So some people say the source is, this is a source that the money actually goes to this fellow. It's not that we give it to some random place. It goes to him. So what it's saying is, it's mitzarif by him. Since I give 100, you give 100, he walks away with 200, so therefore it's, so to speak, a kasher zamam over here. We're at least, we're doing what we planned. We tried making him lose 200. At the end of the day, he's collecting 200. As opposed to Malkus, he's not getting anything, so it doesn't join together. That's possibly one. In other words, the Malkus is an individual thing to me. He's not getting anything out of it. So you can't join 20 Malkus and 20 Malkus. They're two separate things. As opposed to money, it eventually winds up in one pot. Possibly that's what the Gemara means. An alternative pshat, there's a famous Beis Halevi where the Beis Halevi explains that when it comes to Malkus, 40 lashes, if you give 40 lashes, the pain of the 31 lash is because, it's not just because it's one lash, it's after 30 lashes. And the next lash, it's lash number 32, that hurts a lot worse because I already got hit 31 times. So in other words, each one, the pain builds on each one, builds on itself more and more and more and more. So 40 lashes, you can never duplicate 40 lashes unless you get all 40. You were trying to make this guy have the pain of one and then another and then another and then another all the way up to 40. That's tremendous amount of pain. It's not just each one by itself. It builds up. So therefore, to give one guy 20 and another guy 20, that's not kasher zamim. You're not accomplishing that. You're not accomplishing that pain. Therefore, you cannot divide the malchus. You wanted him to suffer the pain of 40 consecutive lashes, so you're going to get 40 and he's going to get 40 because we want to give you that pain the same way you were trying to give him that pain. That's what the Gemara means. We need kasher zamam. We need to do exactly what you were trying to do to him. You wanted him to be a cumulative pain, so you need to get a cumulative pain. It's not going to be enough 20 and 20. It's not just the number. It's not just to get to 40. It's with all the pain added to it. As opposed to money, so I'm saying money you could join together. It's not that the pain of $100 and another $100 is more. $200 is $200. So fine. So we'll lose $200. So it could be that's the explanation of the Gemara. But either way, the point is we have two explanations. Money they divide, and malchus they do not divide. Which brings us to the next Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Eina Edim Nasim. Now this is the main Mishnah. We actually mentioned this on Daf Beis. It says, Eina Edim Nasim Zomim. The Edim are not considered to be Edim Zomim Ach Yizimu Etz Atzman, until you catch them themselves. Yadzimu means you make them Eid Zomim, them themselves. You have to catch them. What does it mean? Them, the witnesses. Ketzad, how is this? Amruf, they said, if we testify that Ruvain, my friend and myself testify that Ruvain killed somebody. Amr Lahem, they said to them, and then two witnesses walk in and say, how can you testify? Shari Neragzeh, because the Nerag, the fellow you said who was killed, Horigzeh, or the killer, Haya Imanu Osayom, he was with us, B'makam Ploni, in a certain place. So my friend and myself said that Reuven killed Shimon on Tuesday at 5 o'clock in Yerushalayim. Right? Again, we always have to give the time and place. Anytime you say testimony, you must give the time and place. We said Reuven killed Shimon on Tuesday at 5 o'clock in Yerushalayim. Two Edom come in, and two Edom say, that can't be, because Reuven was with us in some other city, or Shimon was with us in some other city. So they're contradicting our testimony, but they're not contradicting me. They're contradicting me, but they're not contradicting my body, myself. They're saying your testimony, what you're talking about, cannot be true. But they're not talking about me personally. So in other words, they're saying the thing you said cannot be true, because the guy who you said was in Yerushalayim being killed was not. He was in a different city at the time. That's not called Edom Zomim. Ein Elu Zomim, this is not called Zomim. As opposed to, Avo Amr Lehem, but if they said, Heichatem me'idim, how can you testify? Shari atem hayisim imanu osa yom magamploni. If they walk in and say, you two fellas who are saying testimony, you too were with us in a different place. The two of you witnesses were somewhere else. That's Edom Zomim. Hare elu zomim, these are called Zomim, v'neragim alpiyam, and they get killed based on their mouth. Full stop. That's the end of this part of the Mishnah. What that means is, again, the difference is, The two witnesses who come in and make us into Eid Zomim need to testify about myself and my friend, that it's impossible for us to even open our mouths and say testimony on anything that happened in Yerushalayim on Tuesday at 5 o'clock because we were elsewhere. So it's irrelevant what we said. Again, always before you say testimony, Beis will say, okay, where, when, before you say what happened, tell us where it was and when it was. Now, if two Eidim come and contradict that, that's called Ein Zomim. I don't care what you said. It's irrelevant. There's no way that you were here in Yerushalayim at 5 o'clock on Tuesday because you were somewhere else. As opposed to, so that's, the Mishnah is saying, that's called Ein Zomim. You have to be Mezim themselves. You have to make them into Eidim Zomim. In order to talk about their body, talk about myself and my friend. But if you're talking about what I said and the story that I said, and you found a contradiction in my story, okay, it's a lie and that's bad, but we're not called Eid Zomim and we will not be punished. It's saying false testimony in Beis Din and it's a problem, but we're not going to apply the laws of Eid Zomim to that. Now the Mishnah continues a new situation over here. Bo acherim v'hizimim. So now let's talk about this scenario. My friend and myself were caught because we were caught being elsewhere at that time. Two witnesses, let's call them Levi and Shimon. Again, my friend and myself said Reuven killed Shimon in Yerushalayim Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Levi and Yehuda walk in the door, and Levi and Yehuda said, you two fellas, you were with us somewhere else. So we were caught, we're Eidim Zomim, fine, they put us to death. Then what happens is, two other witnesses come and say a different story. They say they were somewhere else, and they wanted to say that Reuven killed Shimon. And then Levi and Yehuda say, no, you were with us also, in a different city. And then a third group comes and says, okay, we want to testify Reuven killed Shimon, and this is our time and place. And our friends Levi and Yehuda once again say, no, you're with us in a certain place also. Every group that comes, these guys, Levi and Yehuda, the same people, they seem to catch everybody were with them exactly when they said they were somewhere else. That's what the Mishnah is discussing. Bo acher v'zimam. Afil mea, even if it's 100 sets of witnesses, kulam yaharogu, all of them will be put to death. We believe Levi and Yehuda unequivocally, 100%. Even if they make 100 groups of Eidim Zomim, each one is going to get killed. Rabbi Yehuda says, Istis hizu. This is like Rashi says, Istis means, this is like a lying group. These guys, Levi and Yehuda, something looks a little fishy over here. These guys are a bunch of liars. Ve'enu nereg, you don't kill elakasa rishon bavad, only kill the first group. Group number one of Eidim walk in the door, and then Levi and Yehuda say, no, you're with us, you'll kill them. You'll kill the first group. When the second group walks in, and then Levi and Yehuda say, no, you're with us, Rabbi Yehuda says, no, you don't believe them anymore. It's very rare that they were with two different sets of witnesses, and all the more so 100. So this is Stam Machlokes. We'll get to in the Gemara what exactly Rabbi Yehuda is really coming to say. Let's start the Gemara. The Gemara says, going back on this theme of the Mishnah, which is that you have to be mezim, you have to contradict the Eidim themselves, not their testimony, but they themselves. Not immediately, where is the source for this? Amar of Ada, the Amar Kra, the pasuk says, quote, V'hinei eid sheker, ha'eid sheker. Hinei eid sheker, ha'eid sheker ana, end quote. He's a false witness. Ha'eid sheker ana, he said false testimony. What do we learn from there? Ad shetishaker gufa shel edis. You need to make a lie out of the actual body of the witnesses. As we're explaining, in other words, we see from the pasuk that Eidim Zomim is when you say not that they're liars, not that what I said is false testimony, but you prove that anything I say is false because you proved me wrong. Anything, whatever I open my mouth, but when I said Tuesday 5 o'clock Yerushalayim, it's irrelevant what I said because you showed that I'm wrong. Because you said I was elsewhere. Again, going back to the first part of the Mishnah. So there's a source that it's Eidim Zomim is only when you contradict the actuality of the witnesses, not when you're testifying against what they said. Today, Rabbi Shmuel Tana, in the house of Rabbi Shmuel, they taught a different, similar. It says, quote, La'anas bo Sarah, to speak falsely. And we learn from there, and quote, Ad shetisra gufa shaledis, once again, until you contradict the actuality of the witnesses. Not the testimony of the witnesses, but the actuality of the witnesses. Good. Now the Gemara goes on over here. Amar Rava. So that is the source for our Mishnah. Amar Rava. Bo shnaim. Two people come. Va'amru b'mizrach bira, on the east of the tower. Harag plonius and nefesh. my friend and myself walk in the Beis Din, and we say, on the east side of the tower we saw Reuven kill Shimon. Ubo Shnaim, and two witnesses come, V'amru, Valo b'mara bira imanu yisem. But you were with us on the west side of the tower. Tower meaning like a big building. How can you say Tuesday at 5 o'clock you were on the east side? How can you say Tuesday at 5 o'clock you saw Reuven kill Shimon on the east side of the tower if you were with us on the west side? Assuming there's a big building. So the Gemara says, Chazinan, we look, if when you're standing on the west, you're able to see the east, so then we're not necessarily wrong. You didn't contradict us. All we said was, we saw Reuven kill Shimon on the east side of it. You caught us, you pinpointed us being on the west side, so Beis Din will have to look. Is it possible to be on the west side, like these guys say, and still see the testimony? Then, Ein Elu Zomim, we are not Edom Zomim. Vim Lav, and if not, Hare Elu Zomim, then we are Edom Zomim. If nobody could be on the west side, I don't know how big this building is, obviously Beis Din will have to look at it. If Beis Din looks at this building and says it's impossible for anybody to be on the west side of this and to see the east side, then we're caught. Because we pinpointed and we said, Tuesday 5 o'clock, we saw Reuven kill Shimon on the east. We saw that story happen in the east. Now, if we were caught being at Tuesday 5 o'clock on the west and it's impossible to see it, that means we are Edom Zomim. To which the Gemara says, Pshita, it's obvious. What's Rava's Chiddush over here? What's his point? The Gemara says, Mao Desema, you might have thought, Leichush, we should be concerned, Lenhura Barya. Maybe to save our skin, myself and my friend, before you put us to death and accuse us of being Edom Zomim, maybe we have great eyesight. And most people cannot be on the west and see the east. But maybe you should be concerned before you kill us. We always know that Beis Din always tries to get out of killing people. So maybe at least be concerned. Maybe I have amazing eyesight and I'm abnormal. And I was able to actually be on the west and still see the east. And therefore the fact that these two Edom caught us on the west is not contradicting what I said, that I saw Reuven kill Shimon on the east. So you might think we're concerned for that and therefore don't kill us. Kamash Malan, that's what Rava's Chiddush is coming to tell us. That's not true. If normal people do not see from the west to the east, you guys are a bunch of liars. You are officially Edom Zomim, and you will be put to death. A similar thing, very similar. The next thing. V'yamar Rava said another statement. Bo Shnaim v'amru Besura. Two witnesses said, myself and my friend walk in, and we said Besura. Surah is the name of a place in Bavel. B'tzafra in the morning. Bechad b'shabsa on Sunday morning. Harek Plonius and Nefesh. So we said we saw, my friend and myself, we said we saw Reuven kill Shimon Sunday morning in Surah. We saw it. We saw it happen in Surah. Ubo Shnaim, two witnesses came, va'amru, bepanya, bechad b'shabsa, imanu yisim benardai. They said bepanya, which means in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon, imanu yisim, you were with us benardai. They pinpointed us in a different city in the afternoon. They're not a normal Edom Zomim would be. They said, no, you were not there Sunday morning, you were in Nahardai on Sunday morning. Nahardai is a different city. So that's for sure Edom Zomim. Rava's Chiddush is, if the Edom Zomim say, listen, we don't know where you were in the morning, but I know for sure in Sunday afternoon you were already in Nahardai at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So now, did that make us Edom Zomim? So the Mishnah, the Rava says, Chazinan, we look. Imit Safra Lapanya, if from the morning to the afternoon, Matzi Azul Misurla Nardai, if one's able to travel from Surah to Nardai, if it's possible that we are correct, maybe we're not lying. If it's possible, if it's physically possible that you could be in Surah in the morning and get to Nardai by the afternoon, then Lo Havizomim, we are not Edom Zomim. Vim Lav, if not, Vilav Havizomim, then we are Zomim. If it's a 12-hour trip from Nahardai, from Surah to Nardai, and we said this happened at 11 o'clock in the morning in Surah, the Edom found us at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Nardai, and it takes 12 hours to get there, we're obviously Edom Zomim. Again, the Chiddush over here, a little bit of the Chiddush is, even though they didn't say exactly when we said we were in Surah, they can't pinpoint us there because they didn't see us at 11 in the morning. But they could say, just chronologically, it doesn't work that you were there and you got to Nardai later, we're still put to death. The Gemara says, Pshita, it's obvious. The Gemara says, Mao Desema, similar to before, you might have thought, Leichos legamla parcha. Maybe we should be concerned that maybe miraculously we had very fast camels. So even though most people it takes 12 hours to get from Surah to Nadai, maybe Beis Din should be concerned that maybe my friend and myself were telling the truth. Reuven did kill Shimon in Surah, and we got really fast animals to get us to Nardai, and you saw us Nardai in the afternoon. It's not a contradiction. Maybe we should be concerned about that, even though it's not normal. Kamash Malan, Rav is telling us that's not true. No, we just go with what's normal, and if it's not normal to be able to pull it off in that time, then you are officially Edom Zomim. Good, that's the end of, so again, these are very similar, these two things. The point is, even though I didn't see you exactly when you said you were somewhere, but if I prove that it's impossible for you to be somewhere else, unless you think of some crazy thing, like maybe I have amazing eyesight, or I have amazing fast camels, we're not concerned about that, and therefore you're called Edom Zomim. Now, Rava said something else over here, a third thing of Rava. V'amar Rava, Bo Shnaim v'amru, two witnesses come, myself and my friend say, Bechad b'shabsa harik plonius nefesh. If we said on Sunday, now let's just give an example over here. What happens is myself and my friend walk into Beis Din on Tuesday morning, and we said as follows: Bechad b'shabsa, on Sunday, we're coming in on a Tuesday, but we said 2 days ago on Sunday, harik plonius nefesh. We said that on Sunday Reuven killed Shimon. Ubo Shnaim va'amru imanu hayisem bechad b'shapsa. Two witnesses came and they said it's impossible. That did not happen because you were with us on Sunday. Okay, classical example of Eid Zomim. Again, we said we saw Reuven kill Shimon in Yerushalayim Sunday morning, and two witnesses says you were not in Yerushalayim on Sunday morning. We caught you somewhere else. So that's Eid Zomim. But they added one more thing. Ella betray b'shabsa, but rather on Monday, betray b'shabsa means on the second day of the week, on Monday, harik plonius nefesh. These two witnesses are saying, you guys were with us on Sunday. So what you're saying is not possible to be true, but it happens to be that Reuven did kill Shimon on Monday. He didn't kill him on Sunday, he actually killed him on Monday. So, now there's a chiddush over here. This is not something we discussed yet. So again, we walk in on Tuesday morning and we said, we saw Reuven kill Shimon on Sunday. Two witnesses come and say, no, Sunday you're with us, but he actually killed him on Monday. Not only that, elafilu amru erev Shabbos harik plonius nefesh. Even if they said, not only did it happen after what you said it happened, but it actually happened before, narugin, we are put to death. My friend and myself are put to death. Why? Even though, seemingly, you could say, Reuven did kill Shimon. We all know Reuven actually did kill Shimon. But, to be inna de misadi, because at the time when we were testifying, Gavra Labar Ktolohi, he was not a person who should be put to death yet. Because as of Tuesday morning, even though it could be Reuven actually killed Shimon already, but he was not testified on in Beis Din yet. It was not verified yet. Rashi actually explains until Beis Din gives the psak on the guy, till Beis Din says, Reuven, you are actually chayiv misa for killing somebody, he could always, there are many ways he could get out of it. Rashi actually learns he could admit to it, and if he admits, he might be off the hook. Tosas has a little problem with that. But either way, the point is, at the time we were Tuesday morning, when me and my friend walked into Beis Din to try to have Reuven killed, he didn't deserve to be killed yet. Based on the other Eidim, when they came after us, then maybe he officially, once Beis Din would settle down and judge him, then it could be he deserves to be killed. But at the time we were saying Edis, we were trying to kill an innocent guy. And therefore, we get put to death. So this is a chiddush. The chiddush is, again, there's a different point of a chiddush, that when we're talking about Eid Zomim, you're going to get boomerang back at you what you tried to do, even if the guy actually deserves it. But at the time you said it, he didn't deserve it yet. Therefore, you are going to get put to death. You were talking about an innocent guy at the time. True, afterwards he was not so innocent. But at the time we said it, he was an innocent fellow. Therefore, we get put to death. Because anytime you say something about your friend, which he didn't deserve that yet, so we said Reuven killed Shimon and Reuven should be put to death. This is what we testified Tuesday morning. As of Tuesday morning, he didn't deserve any death yet. Therefore, even though in the afternoon these other guys came and said, okay, Beis Din should paskin. Beis Din actually paskined Wednesday morning. They say these guys actually, Reuven actually should be killed. But when we said it, he was an innocent guy. And therefore, we are Edom Zomim and we get killed. The Gemara says, "My kamashlan, what's the chiddush in this?" Tanina, we learned this. It says, "Lefikach nimtzas achas mem zomemes if you find one of the groups to be Eid Zomim, hu ve'hin neragim, v'ashniya petura. It's a Mishnah later on, but it's possible that the person we are testifying about, the Mishnah says over there, the person we are testifying about could be killed. The Edom Zomim could be killed also. But the point is, see from that Mishnah, that even though he gets killed, it's irrelevant with the Edom Zomim, because it could be he's getting killed for different testimony or something else. But if we tried killing him inappropriately, we get killed also. So the Gemara is saying, what's the chiddush over here? What's Rava's point? We know this already. The Gemara says, Seifa, Mashi'in kim b'gemar din ishrichle. We need the Seifa. The Seifa says, when you're talking about Gemar din, a psak of Gemar din, that's what we need. What's that case? In other words, the Gemara's answer is, we don't need the first part of Rava, we need the second part of Rava, which is, Bo shnayim v'amru. Okay, new case over here. Bo shnayim v'amru b'chad b'shabsa nigmar dino shaploni. My friend and myself come into Beis Din and we said that on Sunday, nigmar dino shaploni, that Reuven, we're not saying he was killed. We said we were in a Beis Din and Beis Din said on him that he was chayiv misa. Beis Din worked it out. We happened to be sitting in the crowd. In other words, we come to a different Beis Din and we come to a different city and we say, you see this guy Reuven walking around over here? This guy Reuven was in a different Beis Din on Sunday and they paskened on him that he killed somebody and he deserves a death penalty. We are testifying this in front of Beis Din and we're telling this Beis Din, grab him and kill him. And then, Ubo Shnayim Va'amru, two people come and they say, B'chad b'shab Manu Yisim, you were with us on Sunday. So two Edom come and say, there's no way you were sitting in that courthouse on Sunday because you were with us. Ella, Be'erev Shabbos Nigmar Dino Shaploni. But they said, it happens to be true that he actually did have a psak din on him from Friday. V'lo od, and not only that, Ela Filu Amru B'trei B'Shabsa Nigmar Dino Shaploni. Even if they said it happened on Monday, Ein Elu Neragim, we are not going to be killed. Why? Why are we not killed? Because that was a true fact at the time when we said testimony. This guy really deserved to be put to death because there was already a psak din, there was already a gemar din on this fellow. Then we are not put to death to be'inna de kamasadi, because at the time we were testifying, Gavra bar Katala, who he was a person who deserves to be put to death. In other words, why this is different than the other case is because over here, me and my friend are testifying. We are testifying about him already having been paskin that he deserves to be. His verdict already was laid down on him that he's a dead man. Now we happen to be lying because we were caught and it was on Sunday and we were elsewhere on Sunday. But the two other Edom came and said, well, it's actually true. When me and my friend testified on Tuesday, when we were testifying Tuesday, we were talking about a dead guy. A guy deserves to be dead because the other Edom are saying either it happened on Friday or it happened on Monday. It's irrelevant. But when we walked into Beis Din Tuesday morning to say this, we were talking about a dead guy. This guy deserved to be put to death. Therefore, we weren't talking about an innocent fellow. This guy really deserved it, and therefore, we will not be killed. We were not going to be Edom Zomim. The distinction between these two, now the Gemara is saying this is the chiddush. What's the distinction between the two cases? In the first case, when me and my friend were testifying that Reuven killed Shimon, he never went through the whole court system yet. So even if two Edom say, yeah, we actually saw him get killed, we actually saw him kill somebody, but that still doesn't mean he deserves to be killed. That's a whole process that needs to happen. At the time we were saying testimony, that process never happened yet. Therefore, we're testifying about an innocent fellow, and therefore, we deserve to be put to death. Because we said false testimony, we tried killing an innocent fellow. As opposed to the Seifa, the second case, we're testifying about a guy who already went through the process. We were saying he already got a verdict that he's supposed to be killed. Now, you caught it. So when we said that testimony on Tuesday, we actually were right. You caught us that we were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and therefore we're liars. But we weren't talking about an innocent guy because everybody agrees this guy already had a psak din that this guy was supposed to be killed by Tuesday. Either they said it was Friday or they said it was Monday, but either way, when we walked into Beis Din on Tuesday, we were talking about a marked man already. We're not in Zomim, because Edom Zomim was when you're trying to kill an innocent person. So that's the chiddush over here. The difference between Gemar Din as opposed to saying that Reuven killed Shimon. In the first part, we were saying Reuven killed Shimon, so that's trying to kill an innocent guy. Because even if he actually killed him, but you were trying to get him killed before he went through the whole court system. as opposed to the second case we're talking about a Gemara din. The Gemara says v'chein le'inyan tashlumi knas. In regards to knas, it's the same thing. We know the halacha is when it comes to a knas, a fine, if somebody walks into Beis Din and admits it before the Eidim come, he can exempt himself from the knas. So, listen to the story over here. Very similar. Myself and my friend come on Tuesday morning into Beis Din, and we said, on Sunday, this guy stole, and he stole a sheep, and he slaughtered it. He shechted it. We know the halacha is that when you steal a sheep, just stealing it, you have to pay it back. If you stole it and you shechted it, you need to pay 5 times the price. That's a knas, that's a fine. Happens to be, if you admit to that, you will not be chayiv. Now, so this guy, we walked in and said this guy did this on Sunday. And then we get caught, 2 witnesses say, no, Sunday you were with us. But they said, no, actually it happened on Monday. This guy stole it on Monday. Mishalmim they pay. V'lo od, in other words, we were caught to be in Zomim. V'lo od, and not only that, elafiu amru be'erev Shabbos ganavu tavach machar. Even if they say it happened on Friday, mishalmim we have to pay. Why do we have to pay? We get caught. We are going to have to pay 5 times the amount. To be inna the kamasadi, because at the time we were given testimony, gavra lav bar tashlum. He was not a fellow who was obligated to pay the payment yet, because he never went through the court system yet. So maybe he'll actually admit to it. So again, when we showed up Tuesday morning and we said, this guy stole on Sunday, yes, we were lying because we were caught to be elsewhere. And the real witnesses say he actually did it on Monday. Either way, he wasn't, Beis Din never gave him a verdict yet that he owes it. So we were trying to be mechayiv somebody who did not deserve to pay it yet. As opposed to, this is different. If we said, we testified on Tuesday, that on Sunday the guy already had a verdict that he deserved to pay 5 times. And 2 people come, they said, you're with us on Sunday. But actually it happened on Friday, or they said, he did it on Sunday, and they said, actually it happened on Monday, the Gemar Din. Ein mishalmim, we do not have to pay. Why? To be inna the kamasadi, because at the time we were saying testimony, gavra bar tashlum, who he was somebody who was obligated to pay it. What the Gemara is saying is this is exactly the same scenario as before. When we're talking about Reuven killing Shimon versus a Gemar Din, a psak, so too over here. When we talk about Reuven being chayiv a knas, as long as he didn't go through the court system yet, he wasn't chayiv it yet. So therefore, when we said it, we were trying to obligate an innocent man. As opposed to, if we testified that he already went through the court system and Beis Din already laid down the law that he's chayiv to pay it, then 2 witnesses say you were with us, but it's actually true that he went through the court system already, then we could say we weren't trying to obligate an innocent fellow. So this is the end of Rava's Chedushim over here of Eid Zomim. So again, if we could summarize what we had over here, we had the first Mishnah on the page was, you divide up money, you do not divide up Malkus. We had 2 pshatim. Why? According to Abaye, because the Gzer Shaveh, Rasha, Malkus to Misa, and it doesn't say that by money. According to Rava, the reason is because money joins together and Malkus does not join together. Whatever that means, as we explained. Then we had the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that don't become Eid Zomim just because your testimony is wrong. Only if they catch you being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Then you have to be mazing themselves. We had 2 psukim to prove that, Eid Sheker, or the second pasuk was Lanus Basara. We had the end of the Mishnah, which is if these 2 Eidim say that we were with them, and then another 2 Eidim with them, another 2 Eidim were with them. So Tanakama says kill them all. In other words, we believe them, kill every group they say they talk against. Rabbi Yehuda says only the first group, which we'll have to talk about next time. And then we had all of Rava's cases. Rava basically said 3 different halachas. First case is, we said that we saw the guy kill on the east side. We were found to be on the west side. So if you're able to see from the west to the east, we are not Eid Zomim. If not, we are. What's the chiddush? Chiddush is, don't be concerned that maybe we have good eyesight, and therefore kill us. Similar case, Rava said, we said he was killed in Surah in the morning, and in Nardai we were caught to be in Nardai in the afternoon. If it's possible to travel, fine. If it's not, they put us to death. What's the chiddush? You might think that may be concerned we got a fast camel. No, we're not concerned about that. Then we had the case of Rava, where Rava said, if we said testimony on a guy that Reuven killed Shimon, so even if our testimony, we were caught to be Einim Zomim, but our testimony was correct, because Reuven actually did kill Shimon, we still get the Eid Zomim Kasher Zamam punishment, because we were talking about an innocent fellow at the time. Could be later, it will be proven that we were right, but at the time we were saying testimony, he was innocent. To which the Gemara says, we know that from a different Mishnah. The Gemara says the Chiddush is the end of Rava, which is, if there was a Gemar Din, if we testified that he already went through the process, and that actually was true, he already had gone through the process by the time we testified, we are off the hook, because we were not talking about an innocent fellow. And then we saw similarly the same thing by Knas. We said it by Knas that he was innocent, he was an innocent guy, then we get the Knas, but if we said he got a Gemar Din, then we do not get punished because he actually deserved it. He was a person who was chayiv.